Amy, how are you doing?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Thanks very much. It's good to meet you. Yeah,
It's nice to
can
meet
you
you
hear me?
too.
Yeah,
Yes, I can hear you.
that's
What
great.
time?
Yeah,
You're in Thailand, right?
that's right. I'm in Thailand,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's 4 p.m. here. Where are you now, Amy? Whereabouts?
I'm in England. I'm in Essex.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's
Yes.
great. Yeah, so it must be 9 a.m., is it? In
Yes,
Essex?
that's right. 9 a.m.
Right, so it's quite early. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for accepting
No,
my
it's no
request.
problem at all.
Yeah,
No
that's
problem.
really
It's
good.
nice to receive your request. It's nice to have something a little bit different on Cambly.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So can I just ask you to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, of course. My name is Amy. I am from England. I'm 33. I've been teaching on Cambly, oh my goodness, I think since 2019 I started
Right.
teaching with Cambly. And I took a little bit of a break whilst I started a business. And I
Okay.
recently came back to Cambly last year.
Right. I see. Okay. And so, yeah, so my name is Neetu and I live in Thailand. I've been here for 14 years with my family. So, my husband and I've got three boys. And I grew up in London. I lived there for 35 years. Before that, I was born in India, in
Mm.
Kerala, in South India. So, I moved to England when I was 3 years old. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's so nice. My father was born in India. I am part Indian as well. My family come from around Chennai, but my dad moved to India when he was about two, with his brothers and yeah, his mother
okay.
who's
Oh, wow. So Chennai is also in the south. It's like next to Kerala. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't been to India yet. I've traveled a lot around Southeast Asia, but I'm
Okay.
wanting to go to India until I feel like because I feel like it's going to be important to me. It's
Yeah.
always, ever since I was a little girl, it was a place I kind of dreamt of because I knew I was a little bit different and that's where I was from. So I really look forward to the day that I go.
Yeah. So is your dad, is he like half Indian or?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
my grandmother and grandfather, they met in the Second World War. So my
Yeah.
grandmother was Indian. My grandfather was from Liverpool, I think, in the UK.
I
And
see.
yeah, they met in India, and I think he abandoned his post.
Right.
He wasn't the best kind of soldier, but he stayed
Yeah.
in India with her, and I think she looked after him a lot, and they had some children. And when the Queen pardoned
Okay.
him, he eventually came back to the UK with his kids.
Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. So you hope to visit someday. Yeah, is that
Yes,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's great. Wow. So could you just tell me a little bit about where you live in England and what it's like?
Yeah, so I live in a small town called Braintree. I think there's about 100,000 people here,
Okay.
which is in Essex. We're very
Yeah.
close to London, so it's very easy to get to London. But when you are in this small town, it feels like you are very far away from any big city. Um,
Right. Mhm.
I have to say, I think, yeah, when I was growing up here, it just seemed like any normal place. But after living so many different places as I've grown older,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's very quiet and small here. And I think the
Mm.
majority of the people that live in this town
Mhm.
kind of stay in this town as well. Um,
Right.
going somewhere else in England for most people is like a big
Mm.
venture, which is it's so crazy to
Mm.
me because we're so close
Yeah.
to London.
Okay, I see. So do you go into London much? Do you visit? Okay.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I try to any kind of moment I get. I think
Yeah.
I spent some time living in Copenhagen, 5 years living in a
Yeah.
city, and I've
Right.
only recently come back to England August
Mm.
last year. So
Mm.
I have found it a little bit difficult to adjust. Uh,
Right.
coming
Yeah.
coming from Copenhagen with amazing public transports and you
Mhm.
can cycle around everywhere,
Mm.
and then coming
Right.
back to England, everything feels so far away, and I feel like in England you cannot be so spontaneous. Here, there's always a lot of planning that has to go into things.
Right, I see. So in terms of Copenhagen, Amy, like what inspired your move to Copenhagen? How did that happen?
Well, I'd been living outside of the UK for some time.
Mm,
Um, I had spent some time in Southeast Asia. I lived in Beijing for some time, and that's where
mm,
I started becoming an English teacher.
okay.
But it wasn't the right fit for me being in Beijing. It was quite
Mm,
intense. So I ended up moving to Malaysia and teaching online. Um,
see.
and eventually, my family and things wanted me to come home. So
Yeah.
I came home for about 6 months, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my older brother was living in Copenhagen. He had done a
Okay.
similar thing to me, traveled around, and he had settled there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was given an opportunity to manage a wine bar. So
Okay.
he asked me to come and help him.
Yeah.
So it was just brother and sister managing this wine bar. And
Mm,
after some time,
mm,
the people that owned it said that they wanted us to take ownership of it. So
right. Yeah.
so we yeah, so we worked very hard, saving up
Mhm.
money, and
Mm,
I curated a lot of the food menu, started learning about
mm,
wine, and did my wine education. And
right.
yeah, in 2000, we brought the business,
Mhm.
the owners, and
Mm,
took a business from a brand new business because we named
yeah.
it and everything. And but then last year, or in 2024, I think it is, some things
Yeah.
changed in my life, and it was
Right.
very stressful. So I
Mhm.
I sold the business, my share, to my brother, and I decided to travel for a little bit longer, and
Mhm.
eventually came back to England.
Yes, I see. Wow. So in terms of the experience that you have, I'm sure like I saw that you've got level 3 sommelier exams. Is that what it's called?
Yes, yeah,
Wine,
yes.
yeah, wine exams. And I was reading about it and it says level 3 is like the highest and it's like you have the most advanced skills and knowledge. So was the exams very difficult, would you say? Yeah.
It, they are very nerve-wracking, I think, because you have
Mm,
to retain a lot of information with wine.
right.
And also, yeah, the information you have to retain, uh, the specific flavors of certain grapes and
Mm,
certain regions, and especially like countries like Italy, you know, you can
yeah.
have a grape and it can only be grown in one particular area, you know.
Right.
So
Mhm.
there's so many rules to things. So
Yes.
it felt, I was very nervous when I was taking the exams, but I
Mm,
have to admit, I'm a little bit of a geek. I love if someone gives me something to
mm,
study. If
all
someone
right.
tells me they're going to give me a test, oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited to have a notebook, write
Ah.
down some points. I
Yeah.
quite enjoy that.
Oh, that's great. So that suited you then, yeah. So that sounds great. So when you worked in the wine bar, would many people ask you for advice on like what the best drink was or what you recommend?
Definitely, that was what we kind of
Mm,
that was our unique selling point. Is
mhm,
people would come to the bar and it wasn't pretentious, because a lot of places in Denmark,
mm,
Denmark, well, in Copenhagen, they have the two of the highest rated restaurants in the world there. So
right.
it people really like their food and their wine. And
Hmm.
so when people would come into the bar,
Yeah.
I would never like to talk too quickly about the wine. I would talk very informally. Certain
Hmm.
Because in the wine industry there are certain words that you use to describe wine. And
Right.
a lot of my customers would say, "Oh, I don't know the right words." And I would say, "It
Okay.
doesn't matter. We can make up our own language. It's okay."
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would often be able to sort of tell by someone's personality what they kind of
Mhm.
wine they would like, and I would
Mm,
bring out two or three options,
yeah.
and give them a little taste of each, and then they would pick one.
That's great. Wow. So you have to have like all the knowledge ready for when you're asked questions. But I guess if you do that every day, then it becomes quite natural to you, like you know what to say and how to help people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I think when you work with wine, you know, you have the same wine in stock for quite some time. So
Mhm.
you really get to know that wine. And then you get
Right.
to know the kind of people that like that wine. And
Yeah.
yeah, so the longer you work with wine, the more you understand. But I always
Mm.
say, like, you know, it's such a nice hobby. I don't know if you could
Yeah.
call it a hobby, interest to have,
Right.
because
Yes.
you know, you kind of have to drink the wine and get stuck in to
Mhm.
learn. So I say, oh, it's such an awful education that I have to try so much wine.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big drinker. I can't tolerate much alcohol, but I love white wine if I have to have a white,
Mm,
if I have wine. But among our friends, they all seem to prefer red wine. So they always say it goes better with meat and like lamb
mm.
and yeah, things like that. Whereas white wine goes better with fish. Is that right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
Mm.
yes, definitely. Like,
Right.
I think for me, white wine is something I would drink during the day,
Mm.
or summer evenings. Red wine for me is like a hug. It's something
Right.
I would have a glass of red wine in the evening while I'm sit reading a book, or
Okay.
you know, something
Yeah.
like this with a
Right.
yeah, a nice spaghetti bolognese or something.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So do you have like a preference? Like if you had to choose one, what would you say? What would
Yeah,
your favorite one be?
it would
Mm.
always be, I would say favorite would always be red wine.
Okay.
And I do like Italian red wines. A nice
Mm.
Chianti is very nice.
Mm.
And Nebbiolo as well. That's
Okay.
one thing I want to do is to travel around
Mm.
Italy and try lots of wine. Italian wine is very
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Well, so do you think now that you're back in Essex, would you like to use the like skills that you have to carry on in this industry, or do you think you'd like to try something new?
Well, I think yeah, I want to try something new. I have
Mm.
decided I haven't ever been to university before. So
Yeah.
I've decided over the last sort of few months that I think that would be something I'm really interested in doing, is to
Okay.
put myself through university,
Right.
maybe learning about politics or history,
Mm.
psychology.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can feel in myself that I have this urge to learn.
Yeah.
So I think whilst I have the opportunity, you
Yeah.
know, it would be foolish not to.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many opportunities around. There's no like limit to what you can do, is there? So it's great. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
That's fantastic. Wow. So if I could ask you, I mean, in terms of your family, like so you told me you have a brother. Do you have other brothers and sisters as well? Yeah.
I have an older brother, he's
Okay.
my full brother, and then I have a half brother as well,
Okay.
a little
Right.
brother, yeah.
Yeah. So are you in the middle? You're kind of between both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the only girl in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. And in terms of like Essex, is that where you grew up or did you move there from another part of England?
No, always, yeah, born and
Mm.
raised in the small town that I am in
Oh,
now. I
yeah.
currently live with my grandmother. So
Okay.
as I only came back in
Mm.
August. Uh,
Right.
so yeah, uh, yeah, most of at least like my grandmother's side of the family
Mm.
have always been here, and
Yeah.
yeah, never moved.
Oh, that's great. So you've got extended family as well. Yeah. So mine are sort of like scattered. Like my grandparents have passed away now, but I've got my cousins still in England and yeah, uncles and aunties and things like that. But I think like being in Thailand, we don't see them much. It's just like once a year at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you would have found when you were in China as well. Yeah. So
Mm.
you taught in China. So was that with children, Amy? Were you with children? Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked for like an after school program. So
Okay.
in China, I mean, it always amazes me, you know, the amount that kids learn in a day or how much they
Mm.
are at school. So
Yes.
they would have their regular school day and then they would come to an after school. So usually we would run from like 3 p.m. until I think until about 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. at night.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
so I would have one-on-one sessions with children of all
Right.
different abilities. I think the youngest child I taught was maybe 2.5 or 3 years old. um,
Okay. Gosh, that's
which
very
was very it was very difficult. She
yeah.
did not want to learn at all, so it was
Right.
just control her in class.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but then you could also teach like teenagers as well.
Right.
So I think the eldest I taught was maybe like a 12-year-old girl as well.
Okay.
That,
Yeah.
and she was from like an international school, so
Yeah.
had very good English. And it would
Right.
be surprising sometimes you can be talking to a child and they have this amazing American accent, and they've lived
Okay.
in China their whole life.
Right.
It's surprising.
Yes. Oh, right. How do you think they got that? Do you think it's like the influence of movies and things like that? Yeah.
Definitely the influence
Mm,
in movies, and also if they've had
mm,
like some people can have an American teacher
mm.
in their
Okay.
international school.
Yeah.
It's very common when I was staying in Hong Kong. I would notice
Right.
so many children walking around, and I would hear this American accent. And they also said it's
Sure.
because they have maybe an American nanny
Right.
after them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's so fascinating though.
I see. So with my kids, they go to an international school here, and they
Mm.
have like friends from different countries. So there's like 55 nationalities. So I always think they have the same accent as my husband and I. But when we go back to England, people say, oh, they have like a mixed accent, which is like a bit of everything. Maybe like it's a bit American, a bit British. So
Oh,
we don't
that's
notice it
excellent.
really, yeah, until we go there. So I guess like the influences from different friends has like shaped how they speak. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
I think
interesting.
this is one thing I love about Cambly, or just
Mm,
languages in general. It can be
yeah,
such a way to share understanding, culture,
that's
art,
mhm,
and I
that's
think
mhm, yeah,
yeah, it's so nice. I remember when I was staying in Malaysia, I had a
yeah,
friend that was an international school teacher,
okay,
and she could speak Punjabi, and she would often like
mm,
show me maybe some memes or things, and she would say,
right,
I would love to translate this, but she would say,
mhm.
it doesn't mean the same if I translate it in English than it would
Oh,
do in Punjabi.
yeah,
And I always think that's
yeah,
always interested me because,
yeah,
certain languages have certain words that, would
mhm,
be a combination of words here in like in
yeah,
English. And
yeah.
yeah, it's so interesting.
It's true, isn't it? Yeah, and you're right. I mean, on Cambly, it's like you don't know who you're going to be speaking to sometimes, and it's just
Mm,
having that kind of variety of people and different experiences and cultures. I just feel like it just opens your mind, doesn't it, to all these new
yeah.
experiences. It's great, really. Yeah. And it makes you want to travel as well, doesn't it? It
Oh,
makes you
yeah,
want
definitely.
to visit their countries as well, which is great. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I constantly have a list in
Yeah.
my favorites of places I want to go when I speak to students and they've
Yeah.
been different places and we share pictures. Yeah, my list is always growing.
Yeah. Exactly. So in terms of the languages you speak, do you speak some Chinese because you were like living there, or how is it?
I
Yeah.
I can say a few things. I would never say I
Mm,
speak Mandarin, but
mm,
I
yeah.
can yeah, I can notice when somebody is speaking in Mandarin because there's certain
Mm,
words that they would say and I'm like, oh, okay, that's Mandarin.
right.
Um,
Yes.
I do have to admit, probably most of my vocabulary in Mandarin
Yeah.
I have learned from my friends I used to travel to school with.
Mm,
She is Chinese, but
okay.
a lot of it would be road rage. So she would shout at
Mm.
people. We would be on our way to the
Oh,
school,
I see.
and there are things that have always stayed in my brain. So they're not
Right.
a lot of things I would never teach to anyone. I'm like, oh, if I'm
Yeah.
angry and someone cuts me off, I know what to
Yeah.
say to someone.
Yeah. That's yeah. I suppose that's like everyday kind of conversation, which is good. Yeah, that's amazing. How is it in like Copenhagen? Like is
So I speak Danish,
yeah.
but to be honest, I know a few things in Danish as well, and I can
Mm,
overhear a few conversations.
yeah.
Um, but it's an extremely difficult language to learn.
Right.
And
Mhm.
also, I think the Danish people do not help people want to learn because
Mhm.
they are very happy to speak English. And
Okay.
also,
Right.
there's the Danish vocabulary is very, very small because
Oh,
only in Denmark they speak it, and there are what,
right.
I think 5 million people in Denmark.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of the times, even when you hear two Danish people talking, they're talking
Mhm.
and then they will use English words because
Yes.
there's not the Danish words for certain things.
Oh, I see.
Um,
So it's not in the
because it
vocabulary at all.
No, it's a very, very
Oh,
simple
right.
language.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and even I think even when I would then try to speak it,
Mm.
a lot of my friends, I would say the word in Danish to them, and they would look at
Mm.
me, and I would say
Mm.
it again, and they would say,
Yeah.
"No, you're not saying it right," and then they would
Oh,
say it, and it sounded exactly the same.
oh.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah.
it's yes,
That's
it's very
interesting.
difficult, but I
Yeah.
always feel bad. I think being English, having a bar
Yeah.
and only speaking English, I felt like, oh my goodness, I am no better than the
Yeah.
English people that have taken over Spain and other different places.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it depends. Like, if there was a need, you would have learned it more. Like, because you
Hmm,
said, like, many people speak English. And here in Thailand, I guess it's the same. Like, English isn't widely spoken, but people want to speak English. So they'll always try, and they'll always, if they don't know it, they'll call someone who knows English, like, to help
yeah,
you. So, yeah, that's a good thing, really. Yeah. We have some friends here who, they're kind of like our best friends they spent 10 years in Denmark before they came to Bangkok. And
yeah.
yeah, they said, yeah, that's why I wanted to know if it was you had a similar experience. So they said it's just like a lovely place. It's really calm place to live. It's really quiet. It's got great quality food, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's really kind of small and kind of very family oriented as well. Yeah,
It's
uh,
very cozy, but I
yeah,
would say
cozy.
as well, it's very difficult for, I would say, foreigners to fit in.
Mm,
Um, I
okay.
think foreign, like if you're an expat there, more than
Yeah,
likely your friends are
mm,
going to be expats as well.
I see. Yeah,
Um, it's very difficult. I had some Danish friends that I
yeah,
had met at the gym or through the bar, but
right.
the Danish friends that I did have were very international. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah, with Danish people, they are very, very reserved, which is
Mm-hmm.
extremely opposite from British people. And
Yeah,
we will make conversation with anyone in the
yeah.
supermarket, whereas Danish people
Right.
would kind of look at you a little bit weird if
Okay.
you spoke to them for too long. They would be like, "Oh, I don't know
I
you. Why are you
see.
speaking
It's
to
not
me?"
part of the
Yeah.
culture. Yeah. I
Yeah.
see. That's interesting. Wow. And where would you like to go next, like for this year? Do you have any travel plans for this year?
I
Yeah.
Well, I think me and my father have been speaking. We are maybe going to go
Mm,
to Taiwan, which I haven't
okay.
been before.
Yeah.
Um, but I
Yeah.
haven't got major travels like planned for this year. I have
Yeah.
decided this year is going to be a year of me
Yeah.
settling a little bit. I've
That's
spent a
good.
lot of my life, I think, always on the move. Um,
Right.
always maybe afraid to stay still for too long. So
Yeah.
my challenge this year
Mm,
is for me to find, hopefully
mm,
moving into London, into the city, um,
mhm.
and start to build my life here.
Yeah.
Um, and then I want to do some travels, but small ones within Europe, because
Yes. Yeah.
I've traveled so like everywhere I have been, it's mainly been Asia, really. I think
Right. Yeah.
Asia has always been the place, I think, when
Yeah.
my life has gotten a little bit too much. I
Yeah.
have, because I've done this twice now, I will go to Asia, and then
Yeah.
within 6 months of being there,
Mm.
everything kind of sorts itself out for me.
Right. I see. Have you been to Thailand? Did you visit here? Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've spent quite a bit of time, yeah, in Thailand.
okay. Was it in
Yeah,
Bangkok? Yeah.
I haven't spent so much time in Bangkok. I
Right.
was only in Thailand this time last year, actually.
I
Um,
see. Yeah.
every time in Bangkok for like a few days,
Right. Yeah.
really. Um, but yeah,
Mm.
all over. I've travelled, yeah, all over
Mhm.
Thailand. It's such an easy place to be,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
everyone is so friendly and warm. I
Mm.
like the atmosphere a lot of Asia. and
Right.
I tend to miss it. I like the, oh, I don't know, the fact that
Mm.
there's something always going on, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that's one thing we notice when we go back to England, like the quiet everywhere is like
Mm,
peaceful and quiet. Whereas here there's always like hustle and bustle wherever you go, like the road, the food stalls and a lot of traffic and things like that. Yeah. So I
yeah.
guess it depends where you live. So like you, I grew up in like Hertfordshire, so it's like kind of outside London and quite,
Mm,
green and not much happening really, like a very peaceful place. Yeah. But I like it
mm.
when I go back now. It's got a different feeling. Yeah.
And you
And I
probably
think
get a
I
lot of
find,
nostalgia.
yeah, exactly.
Mm,
And my parents were in the same house that I grew up in. So it's kind of every time I go back, it's kind of, reminds me of that. Except my room is now a study. It's been
yeah.
changed into a study, which happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So we're almost out of time, Amy. So
Mm.
just if I had to just ask you like one tip that you would give like English learners who are maybe beginner or intermediate level, what would you say? Like what would you say is the best way to kind of um, learn or improve?
So
Yeah.
I would say just to try,
Mm.
try and speak the and do not
Yeah.
worry so much about grammatical mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that one thing I have learned of teaching on here, I believe a lot of my students have told me they progress the most of when they can find a connection, especially with a tutor
Mm.
or with someone, and
Yeah.
that things happen in their life that they want to share, and then
Mm.
they want to find the language, they want to be able to communicate a feeling
Mm.
or to
Mm.
talk about something they're interested in. Um,
Yes.
so that's what my advice would always be, is to not worry about mistakes and
Mm-hmm.
find topics you're interested in and
Yeah.
talk to people about the things that you care about,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to just learn, sentences that do not apply to your own life. To be able to
Yeah.
apply it to how you think and feel is what I think can help progress you the most.
Yeah, exactly. And just enjoy it, would you say as well? Just enjoy the
Yeah,
process. Yeah. So I'm
exactly.
trying to like learn French again after like learning it till I was 18. And then I haven't like kind of,
Yeah,
so I'm on like the apps and trying to revive my
yeah.
French. And you can kind of understand the challenges because you're a beginner when you start, but then you
Hmm.
realize that you're slowly progressing. And, like if we see it positively, it can be a good thing, not like a sort of grammar lesson or learning. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm always
yeah.
amazed at my students to be able,
Mm.
I always wonder, what language do you think in?
Yeah,
And
right. Yeah,
it's so fascinating, I think, and I really give my hats off to students that show up,
yeah,
on a daily basis, to put effort into improving themselves. It's
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's inspiring.
Yeah, and the fact they're all in different time zones and some of them stay up really late and they like,
Yeah,
they're learning English and stuff
yeah.
is really
Oh, our
motivating.
time's running